Okay, are we ready to talk about segment one?
We are.
Which is, I think, on the screen for everybody. We're going to talk about Coriolis. Now, I have to do a little bit of setup here because I have like 18 screens going on to get this done right. But what I'm going to be going through today is a quick, I can't stress that enough, a quick mock combat. So if you're going to give me a lot of hate in the YouTube comments about how a character could have done this or a character could have done that, I don't care. It's a quick mock combat just to get you into the Year Zero engine. And I learned some things about the Year Zero engine with this damn game. I'd like to think that I'm fairly versed with the... Let's get that off the screen now. I like to think that I'm fairly versed with the Year Zero engine, okay? Okay. I understand Forbidden Lands, I've done Mutant Year Zero, and so forth. Now, they're all a little different. They all have little tweaks to them. Alien's got, a little different than Coriolis has a little different than, the Mutant games and, so forth. But they're generally the same. I will tell you that Coriolis kicked me in the ding-ding. Because I'm like, I can whip through this, no problem. Let me just get a quick little scenario down, do a little Photoshoppy, and bam, I'll get on there. It took me over 2 days to do this scenario, mostly because I completely screwed it up and realized I forgot something.
Something vital.
Yeah, something vital when I was double-checking my work. So isn't that good that I double-checked my work?
Yes.
Now, I've got to slide some stuff around in the screen. Okay. So Heathen Dog, as soon as I start showing the slides, I will not be able to see StreamYard anymore. You are going to be in complete control of everything for StreamYard. Except for you can't share my screen. Subscribe!
Oh, we're not in the segment one. There you
go. We were? Oh, so when you use that, it bumps to the segment one away.
All right. There you go.
So let me go to my Chrome tab. And let's go to Googly Slides. Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yes.
So I should probably go full screen with those things, huh?
Yeah. Present arms.
There we go. I can't see anything, so if this is not presenting right, you got to let me know.
It is. Don't worry. Captain, my captain.
Now, I do have a PDF of the book open in the background as well, in case we want to reference it at one point. I think we will. But for the most part, this is what I want to tell you about these characters. There are 4 characters. There's a captain, 2 soldiers, and a data djinn. Basically, consider that a hacker. Remember, this game is Arabian Nights. So, data djinn, get it.
Right.
When it comes to the attributes, the skills, and so forth, strength, agility, wits, empathy, hit points, I only put on here what's going to be needed for the scenario. Partially untrue because we don't use observation and survival, but everybody gets 3 talents. Yes, I know that. I'm only showing the 1 talent because it's the only one that matters for this. And that's cybernetic muscles.
Okay, what are the asterisks next to command and culture for?
Those are advanced skills.
Okay.
So you can only, and that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that because I don't have a note to say, hey, make sure I talk about that. So those are advanced skills. You can use basic skills even if you don't have a rating in them. So it's just 0. So let's say you have a 4. So you see right there, it says strength 3, force 1, right?
Right.
That's 3 plus 1. That means 4 dice.
Okay. So it would just be whatever plus 0.
Right. Now,
but
on your
the special skills, you need at least 1 point to even attempt it.
Yes. And I'm going to talk about, we're going to run into a little situation with that later on. And in the way that, I was going to say Forbidden Lands, why is it when I think Year Zero engine, I always think Forbidden Lands, but the way Coriolis does it is they'll just say roll force, and force is strength plus force. So with this first character, this captain, the captain has cybernetic muscles, and what does that do? That puts a little thing on the screen that won't go away now. There we go. Unarmed damage plus 2 dice. And move plus 4 meters per fast action. So he's got a little boost there.
Okay.
Let's move on. Apparently I can't move on. Let's move on. Okay, there we go. Soldiers 1 and 2. I made them the same for simplicity's sake for this scenario.
Okay.
The main things to know about them is they have a group talent called Assault. And that means they get plus 2 range combat when they attack the same target. Now, the actual talent says when everybody in the group attacks the same target. I run it a little differently where I say when everybody in that area, that situation, because if you got somebody on the, if you got 3 people shooting at something and a 4th person's back in the ship, like Lieutenant Gorman.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, oh, can't get the talent there. But if everybody who's in that scenario, in that scene, then you get the +2. Let's see. Then the profession talent is, what's that?
Well, with the group talent thing, now everyone has to have that assault talent, right?
Well, no. Not everyone has to have the assault talent. It's just if you have it, you get a +2. If everybody's shooting, everybody's shooting the same target.
Shooting the same. Everyone is attacking the same person.
Yes, even if that person doesn't have that talent, he still has to. If he's in that scene, he still has to be shooting the target. Basically, it's a command ability to say focus fire, and if you're focus firing, you get +2 range combat.
Okay, yeah, I have problems with that skill, but we're gonna move on.
It works for the game.
Well, no, I understand, but I have problems with it, with the whole fuck it, I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
Not everyone having everyone in that scenario having to shoot the same person to get +2 is stupid.
Well, group talents are not supposed to be something you use every single round.
I know, but I would say if everyone attacking this same target has this talent, then you get it. There's one guy who's a demolitions expert. You're covering him while he's setting up some explosives, and everyone else is covering him by attacking this target. Then I would give them that +2 RC, even though one guy in the same group is doing something else.
I kind of
give it to him.
It depends.
Yeah.
If the person is completely out of, what you can't have is 2 people have this and have those 2 people clean up where the other 2 people in the background are always just twiddling their thumbs doing other stuff. The point of the assault talent is that everybody is assaulting. Go, 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 go. It also prevents its use it prevents it from being used every single round.
Okay.
Because talents aren't something that are supposed to be used every single round. There's something that's supposed to be used situationally. Now, that situation can occur, as you'll see in this scenario upcoming, can occur more than one round. But, yeah, now if you do it rules as written, which says everybody in the group, I mean, I can open it up here. What does the book say? The book says...
It really says everybody in the group, no matter of their geographic location.
No. But... You see, that's what I like about either rules like games or people who know how to interpret. They understand that would just be silly if that's what it said. Yeah, we don't. So I'm almost there. Talents, icon talents, group talents. So assault, you get +2 to ranged combat, but only when everyone in the group attacks the same target in the same turn.
Okay, see now that I like how they say in the group, not in the party. Because
it's the same. They call it group throughout here. So
okay, well the thing is a group is things that are in the same geographic location.
I'm just gonna say that you're playing semantics on that, and it doesn't matter because they say group for everything in this game, so it's all interchangeable.
That's just weird.
But I'd run it the same way that you're talking about there with the caveat. So I'm not worried about the semantics on that. It's just these 2 guys have that ability.
Okay.
And it will be come to play. And the profession talent is combat vet, where you can roll 2 dice and pick the best.
Okay, so people who are familiar with D20, it's like having advantage with initiative dice.
Yes.
Okay.
Now this isn't scrolling. Why are you not scrolling? There. Okay, data gen. I'm going to use this synonymous with the word ops or operator because that's what I was calling her at first. But okay. I went back and called it data gen because that's actually what the class would be in the game. You will see that she doesn't have a lot of combat skills, but that's intentional because she's a hacker. Think of this as like a Decker from Shadowrun, yeah, or a Netrunner from Cyberpunk. Now, notice it doesn't have any profession talents and so forth. Well, that's because her profession talents just didn't matter for the scenario. What did matter, though, is her icon talent of the judge. Actually, no. Oh, yeah, auto crit if an attack hits. Now that I think about it, unfortunately, that's never going to come into play for her.
Oh, because she never got to hit anybody?
Either that or I completely screwed up.
Oh,
it wouldn't be the first time. Here are their weapons. I am not going to focus on this right here. I only have it here in case people on YouTube want to pause it and say, okay, what do you use for the weapons? The captain has accelerator pistol with a sensor scope. and a mercurium sword. Think of that as a lightsaber. Okay, no, it's not. It's
Monomolecular type thing.
It's a liquid metal. So you hold a hilt, you turn it on like a vibroblade or something, and the blade, the liquid metal forms into a blade.
Oh, so it's like a budget T1000.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
Or T2000, isn't it?
That was one.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. Vulcan carbine is for that's the soldiers have a Vulcan carbine with the advanced scope. They also have 1 frag grenade each, and that'll come into play right off the bat. And the Datagen has a Vulcan cricket. What's kind of cool about that Vulcan cricket is it's like a little Derringer, I guess you'd call it, because it doesn't do much damage. It only does 2 damage and has a crit value of 2, which I can talk about in just a second. But it gives +2 to initiative. That was one of the first things that threw me off about this game. If you roll, let's say, a 3 for your initiative, but you declare, well, I'm going to shoot with my Vulcan cricket this round, your initiative is just bumped up to a 5.
And higher is better?
Yes. And but you have to use it that round. If you don't use it that round, well, then you can do nothing. Now, that doesn't mean you can't combine it, because there are action points, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But as long as you spend action points to fire the Vulcan cricket sometime during this round, you get that bump up in initiative.
That bonus throughout the entire round, no matter how many actions you get, even if it's not using the cricket?
You have to use the cricket
at least once.
Yes.
Okay.
And not as like a thrown weapon or as, as a reload or something. I mean, you actually have to
use as intended, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay.
And that's another thing that threw me off. I was like, wait, what? Oh crap, I forgot about that, because the other games don't have that.
Well, no, it doesn't make sense. I mean, you should only get the modifier if you're using the thing that gives you the modifier.
Well, what I think the point is because there are a bunch of things that happen differently in Coriolis than the other Year Zero engine games.
Mm-hmm.
That because it's a sci-fi game. So let's use one of the big ones. In the other Year Zero engine games that I play, if you take a point of health damage, we'll say hit points, that actually comes off your strength. And that means if you take 2 points of damage, let's say your strength is 4 and you took 2 points of damage, well, now your strength is 2. That affects your rolls.
Mm-hmm.
This game doesn't. It has a hit point system.
Okay.
So I think in order to sci-fi it up a bit and to maybe make it a little less deadly, a smidgen, I think that's why they did it, but I don't know. It's not that it's a bad system. It threw me for a loop because I know the other Year Zero engine systems well, and I thought I could just run into this one like riding a bike and just get a nuance. So, just so you know, my audio just went dead. Can you say something?
Testing.
Okay, I hear you. Like everything in my headsets just went like dead silence. Like I lost everything. Weird, but I can hear you, so we're good. Okay, so that's weapons. Again, you can pause it if you care, or you can look in the book. That's what we're using. So what's next? I said, what's next? There we go. So here's going to be our setup. Is that? Yeah, that is slide. So here's our setup. I did not use a full ship. I am constraining the combat to this area. And now I'm going to actually read what I have, we'll say scripted.
Well, I can imagine that green guys are good guys and red guys are bad guys.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sorry you can't read what it says on there. The Photoshop file is much bigger. But so this is a generic example. Picture the beginning of Star Wars: A New Hope. However, we're going to do this Coriolis style.
Oh, where the stormtroopers break into the ship, and the defenders have cover positions.
Yes, but if you notice on the little map there, I actually added cover positions.
Yes, I see that.
So
little triangles.
One of the things I want to make very clear: Coriolis Year Zero engine does not use squares. The squares are there for reference purposes only. Okay, this is not Dungeons and Dragons. A character can move approximately 10 meters, but I'm not. You'll see later on a couple of them where it's not centered in the square. Well, right. It doesn't have to be. They're just there for reference purposes. All right. So prior to this encounter, each of the player characters that we mentioned before, and we're going to say that the 4 people, the captain, the soldiers, the soldier 1, soldier 2, and Datagen are the player characters. Okay.
Okay.
They spent time in the ship's chapel praying to the icons. Religion is a very important thing in this game. For the remainder of this session, anytime a character prays to the icons, so that's called pushing the roll in the other games. So basically, you're re-rolling a skill check. For that, if that skill falls under the purview of that icon, get a +2 bonus to the reroll. So your reroll's actually better than your natural roll. If you don't do it in chapel, if they're just doing it in this hallway right here, oh, judge, help me, blah, 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 guide my shots to be true and let me lead like an awesome dude, well, then it's just +1. But I gave them credit for the chapel.
Okay.
Hindsight being 2020, they needed about 7 chapels, but hey, whatever. The captain prayed to the judge, as did soldiers 1 and 2. The judge confers this bonus to ranged, the +2 bonus to ranged combat and command. Well, the captain commands, sure. And the soldiers want ranged combat, and probably the captain as well. The operative prayed to the messenger. The messenger gives the bonus for the datagen, science, and technology skills. Which, again, if you're looking at character class, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Sure.
So, you're sure to meet resistance, or the PCs are sure to meet resistance to the boarding attempts, but civilians aren't typically heavily armed and armored. So you're confident that if you don't get sloppy, you'll be fine. That's why there's only 4 of you invading this ship. And it doesn't matter what the reason is here. You're trying to get a piece of technology, or you're trying to take it over, or, maybe somebody in here's a bad guy. You kicked your mom, and now you're mad, and you're in here trying to stop him.
Stole your car, killed your dog.
Yeah, you got John Wicked.
You're about to be John Wicked. That's right.
As you'll see by the end of this, these characters are not John Wick.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. When I sent you that link, did you see how my rolls were going?
No.
Oh, okay, good. You'll find out. So there's an electronic keypad to open the airlock, but you don't know the code. So it's time for the operative, the datagen, to earn her keep.
Sure.
Meanwhile, as you peek through the small window, of the airlock, you can see pistol-wielding crew line either side of the walls. Unlike Star Wars, they're actually behind small walls of cover. I mean, they're not big walls, they're just peeking around. I mean, they're small because you have to be able to walk through the area, but it's enough to provide cover. Seeing this through the command unit, think of it as the best example I can use quickly is Lieutenant Gorman from Aliens, where he's sitting in the vehicle, kind of looking through their cameras and so on and so forth. That's a simplistic, right? It's a simplistic example. This is more portable, et cetera, but you get the idea. The captain directs the 2 soldiers to simultaneously roll in grenades to clear out the defenders. Soldier 1, you roll short. Soldier 2, you roll long. Actually, I think I did that backward, but we'll find out. The captain rolls the command skill, so that's command plus empathy, and gets 1 success. So what's the command skill? I didn't write down the numbers. That's funny. I did for everything else. Why didn't I write down the numbers for this one? So what's his command skill? Empathy is 4. And command, so on 7 dice, he got 1 success.
Loser.
I know, right? Oh, you're going to see a lot of that, though. I hate to say it. I'm just giving you a heads up, man. I even have notes in here saying, are you kidding me?
Wait, what is a success? You're rolling 6 out of dice, right?
Just a 6. Only 6
Only 6 is our success. So on average, he should have gotten 1.
Yeah. But
okay.
We'll just wait.
So he didn't flub it. He just didn't do well.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but that's fine. 1 success in this game, with some rare circumstances, rare differences, 1 success in this game is enough to get a success.
To have an effect. Yeah.
Right. So, in this case, you're right. It'd be more of a stepping stone because every success gives a bonus. But for most things where it's kind of a bit, 1 or 0 type thing, like shooting somebody, a success is a success. That's really all you need to worry about.
Got it.
Okay, so now the soldiers will get a 1 die bonus if they follow his orders and roll the grenades in.
Okay.
The operative signals she's ready to open the door. The GM states that only 1 success is needed to open the door. However, since the defenders are waiting in a prepared position, technically not Overwatch, as that costs darkness points.
What? Darkness points?
Oh, we'll get to that. Yes. Right. I don't want to talk about everything. To be clear, this is a basic overview, but there is an expectation for people watching on YouTube later that you've at least read through the book and have an understanding of what's going on. Heathen Dog hasn't. That's fair, and he's welcome to ask questions because of that. But for you out there, there should be there's a small expectation that you've at least read through the book and have an understanding of some of the stuff I'm talking about. But we will talk about darkness points later. Remember, this game is very religion oriented, and there's a reason for that. Well, there's a few reasons for that. 1, it's Arabic themed, and 2, the darkness between the stars is a thing. Think of it as the dark side of the Force. That's how I look at it. Other people say it's like Satan, other people, whatever. I liken it to the dark side of the Force. Excuse me. So she signals that she's ready to open the door. Like I said, so it's not Overwatch, but they'll have surprise when rolling initiative. That's +2. However, each additional success that the data gen gets on her roll, the game master says will lessen that by 1. Now we'll call this a house rule, or not even a house rule. This is just the game master looking at the situation saying, yep, those guys are prepared. They're ready to shoot you, but you know what? You're going to have more control over the door. Instead of it just sliding open like, oh shit, it's open, guys. The more successes you get, the more control over that door you have. You can count down 3, 2, 1, whatever. It lessens the surprise for the enemy. My rationale for it was more successes. I want to give you something as a benefit for it. So the operative rolls, 3 successes. We're starting off good, right?
Yeah, that's really well.
Yeah, this doesn't last. This indicates... So in my mind, this indicates that she has complete control of the door, no surprises. She smiles and looks at the soldiers. Got it. Holding. Just say win. Both soldiers show the frag grenades in one hand, carbine in the other, and count down from 3, 2, 1. On 0, the airlock slides open. Roll initiative. And now I have to do my first disclaimer. So apparently, this is for all the people out there who know the rules in and out, backward and forward. I have apparently been using frag grenades incorrectly. Explosions fall under the category of atypical damage. By the way, a little spoiler alert in this one, sorry, but I want to get this out of the way right away. Per those rules, critical injuries can only happen after the character is reduced to 0 hit points. I have always used frag grenades as standard weapons and let crits happen with them just as with every other weapon. I mean, they're in the book. You kind of saw it when I did that slide earlier. They're written in the book the same way as anything else. So frag grenades, oh look, damage 2, crit 1. Vulcan carbine, damage 3, crit 2. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's written in the same way, so I treated them the same way. But apparently because, technically speaking, explosions fall under atypical damage rule, I don't like that. I think they should be treated as weapons, just to be upfront with you. So I think that atypical damage rules should apply to like non-fragmentary explosives or internal ship explosions like a fuel rupture or other story-based explosions. You know, just random explosions around, right? Boom, 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 boom. But when you're rolling a grenade at somebody, especially a frag grenade that comes with shrapnel, they're meant to kill. So I don't feel, let's put it this way, I don't feel bad allowing in this scenario or the players in my games to use it in that manner. Now, to be fair, I wanted to make sure I had this note written in here. I don't use critical injuries from Mook NPCs. Okay, so when it comes time to declaring damage and so forth, and you know that little red dot that you see there, that's just a Mook NPC guarding the hallway. Okay. If that person shoots you, I'm not going to say, well, 2 successes, one of them is going to be critical injury. I don't do that to players because, as you'll see in a moment here, that can get quite violent. I do it with named or bosses, whatever you want to call it, or strong creatures. Yes, absolutely. But not with the yard trash. I also use simplified grenade combat, which is I don't roll an attack roll on each and every NPC that grenade could hit. I roll once, and that's what happens. Your mileage may vary. You don't have to use simplified grenade combat. That's just, I want the game to keep moving. And yes, grenades can become quite powerful because of that. But they can also be very weak if you roll it out there and get 0 successes. You mean I threw it in front of 6 people and got 0 successes? Threw too hard. It was a dud. Threw too soft. I mean, whatever. It blew up and they were just lucky as sin. So, again, you can play with the more poignant version of a grenade combat where you roll for every single person, and you can choose to not have the critical injuries until after somebody reaches 0 hit points, if you want to do strictly rules as written. Oh, now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program here, which is everybody rolls a d6 except for the soldiers. They both have the combat veteran talent, which allows them to roll 2d6 and select the best result. The Game Master rolls for the NPCs as a group because they're all mooks. By the way, is there anything in chat I need to be aware of or no?
Nope. So Marhogman says you threw the grenade and it rolled into a hole in the floor. Well, we haven't gotten there yet. What happened to the grenade?
There you go. That is true.
But you have been saying that from now on the rolls get really bad. So
they become interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So all the NPCs are going to fire their Vulcan pistols. The Vulcan pistol adds 1 to initiative. Do I have that on the next slide? There we go. Yep.
Yes. +1 Vulcan pistol.
Yep.
Got it.
So, however, by accepting the bonus, the characters must fire the Vulcan pistol or do nothing that round. The first character to act is Soldier 1, who got a 6 on his initiative. Following the orders of the captain, he declares his intent to roll the grenade long. Now, again, if somebody wants to get really, really, really picky about this, they're going to say, well, you should declare intent before you roll initiative, so on and so forth. This is for an example. All I'm doing is sample combat. You want to parse that? Just imagine that that's what they did, okay?
Okay.
Following the orders, he declares his intent to roll a grenade long. However, he is going to lower his initiative to 3 in order to continue to follow the orders and roll simultaneously with Soldier 2. Simultaneously with Soldier 2. There we go, English. The attack roll takes 2 of his 3 action points. All attacks take 2 action points. Well, all natural attacks, basic attacks, however you want to call it, take 2 action points. An aimed attack takes 3 action points. A quick attack, which comes with penalties, takes 1 action point. But this is just a normal attack roll, so it's going to be 2 action points.
Okay.
For his last point, after the explosion, he's going to move forward along the wall, which will, show on the next slide. The second character act is Soldier 2. Essentially, he's going to do the same thing as Soldier 1. So on Initiative 3, both soldiers roll their ranged attack, which is agility plus ranged attack skill. And we'll start with Soldier 1, since he technically won initiative, right? So, Soldier 1's range attack skill is 7 dice. However, I wrote that wrong. I think this was due to the single success of the captain's command skill, Soldier 1 adds 1 additional die to the roll. So that's a total of 8 dice because he's listening to the orders of his commander. That command skill can become pretty cool. At least I think it can. And he gets 0 successes.
Of course. So what does that do to grenade? It didn't.
I'm actually just going to move it ahead. You can see we're going to talk about it, but you can see what happens.
Well, it seemed like it worked okay.
Yeah. With 8 dice and not a single success, Soldier 1 is going to pray to the judge. This allows him to reroll any die that didn't come up as a 6. Well, that's all of them.
Yeah. So, plus he gets a +2 now.
In addition, because he prayed to the judge back on the ship's chapel, he gets 2 extra dice. Exactly. So now he gets 10 dice to achieve a single 6. And you see what it says there.
Great.
Right? The GM rules that with 1 success, the grenade went a little off target. Instead of a nice perfect hit on 3 enemies, only 2 of them are superficially hit. If frag grenades damage is 2, so NPCs 4 and 5 take 2 points of hit point damage, which is the grenade that went long.
Sure.
Says, notice since the character prayed to the judge for the reroll, the GM receives 1 darkness point. So because he prayed, he rerolled, the game master gets a darkness point.
Which you can hammer the players with later on.
At any time, yes.
Okay.
Soldier 2. Also
on his
rolls
game, apparently.
Also rolls 8 dice. Yeah, notice the successes that come after this guy, though?
Yeah.
Soldier 2 rolls 8 dice, and he rolls forces. By the way, I did actually roll all of this out. There's only one place where I fudged a die roll, and I'm not going to tell you where it is, but I will tell you it's toward the end. Okay. And it was to keep the scenario going, really. So Soldier 2 rolls, so forces us. So the GM allows NPCs cover to partially protect them. If you notice where I position that grenade with that roll, it hits 2 of them from behind. Mm-hmm. But it hits the third one kind of through the cover. Now, somebody might argue, well, the cover isn't fully protecting him. Well, the point is that the cover is there. And somebody standing up isn't going to be a full fat person, meter wide, whatever. It's got cover, damn it. Now, I just got a Discord message I'll have to read later.
But with all those extra successes, you're doing more damage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but we got to do the cover first. So normally this would provide 5 dice of cover from a bullet or shrapnel, but I'm ruling as the game master that because the way the blast is angled, some of the cover's effectiveness is lessened. And I'm going to give him 3 dice to use as that cover. I mean, it's not a straight on shot. It actually, it did hit him from, some angles where that thing can't cover him. So I'm going to give him 3 dice, to represent the cover instead of 5. Okay. And he gets 1 success. The NPC gets 1 success. And I don't think I have that on the screen because that would have made sense for me to put on the screen. I do that later. Apparently, I didn't do it here. My apologies for that one. But only NPC 3 gets that 1 success. The other ones, they're just screwed.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a moment. So frag grenade's explosion radius may be small at 2 meters. By the way, anybody who wants to argue that, well, in the Army, we're taught that 6 meter spacing in between people. This game's range system doesn't use specific numbers like that. It uses close, short, long, extreme. I may have missed one. But the point being that the radius, the explosion radius, here, screw it, of explosion radius of the frag grenades is close. See that there?
Yeah.
So close is 2 meters. That basically means melee range. So if you want to, as a game master, say, well, I make it a little bit longer, that's up to you. But So.
Yeah, Mark Hockman has a point. This is fiction.
That is, it doesn't have to match real. You're right. Absolutely right. I hope you popped that on the screen.
No, I didn't.
A frag grenade's explosion radius may be small at 2 meters, 4 meter diameter, but its potency comes from the ability to cause critical damage, much easier than many other weapons. It only takes 1 additional success in order to...
We got lots of those.
Yes. As I said before, I preferred simplified grenade combat. 1 single roll for all. However, if you want to roll for everybody, you roll for everybody. I want this to move on. Of the 4 successes on NPCs 1 and 2, the first success provides the grenade's base damage of 2. So they took 2 hit points of damage, okay?
Sure.
From there, the player can determine how to spend the rest of the successes. The player spends the second and third success on additional damage, 1 point per success. Mm-hmm. So that's a total of 4 points of damage. Raises it from 2, and then you add on the 2 extra successes to 4.
Sure.
The final success, the player elects to roll on the critical injuries table, which is on, I think, page 97 of the Coriolis book. We'll get back to that in a moment.
Okay.
With regard to NPC number 3, only 3 successes counted because the character's cover absorbed 1 success. Again, the first success is automatically 2 hit points of damage. However, in this case, Soldier 2 player states that he wants to use both of the additional successes on critical injuries. This means he rolls twice on the critical injury chart and selects the best result.
Oh, you don't get 2 critical injuries. You just get the one you want.
And that's one of the things I had to go back and fix because I actually gave him 2 critical injuries.
Ah, okay. See, that I was thinking that exact same thing. You got 3 successes. I want 3 critical injuries. I want this guy blind, deaf, and his arm blown off. That's what I want. I want all the critical injuries. But if you only get to choose one,
well, let's not choose. It's roll.
More damage equals more better at that point.
So you're going to get your wish. NPC 1 suffers 4 hit points of damage, right? We already determined that. And the critical injury roll is 52. I don't have the screen up. I can put it up, but then I'm bouncing back and forth between stuff. 52 is broken neck. He's done.
So he just died.
Well, he's unconscious. He's not dead. He's going to be paralyzed from the neck down.
He's done.
Yeah. Right. If you want me to actually read what it says fully for broken neck, I can. But again, this is supposed to be for people who kind of understand how the book is. Just know that he's unconscious. NPC 2 suffers 4 points of hit point damage also, and rolls a 64. Now, mind you, you're rolling 6 and 6, kind of like percentile dice. The max you can roll then is 66.
Right.
So how bad do you think a 64 is going to be?
Probably pretty bad.
Severed aorta.
He's dead.
Well, he's got a couple of rounds to get some medical attention, but then he absolutely. Only 65 and 66 are actually insta-death.
Actually, with a severed aorta, you realistically have 10 seconds of consciousness.
Well, he goes unconscious right away.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't have the book open to tell you exactly what it says, but I think he's got like 6 rounds to receive medical attention before he's like irreversibly dead.
So Soldier 2 has basically pulled the weight of two soldiers.
Yes.
Now we know why he's Soldier 2, because he's worth 2 soldiers.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because as we go into rounds 2, 3, 4, etc., the enemy's gonna react that way too. So NPC 3 only suffers 2 points of hit point damage,
Sure.
but 2 critical rolls. The first roll, and by the way, you get to pick. So it's not like you roll and then hope for a better one on the second reroll. No,
you choose between which one you like better. Right.
Right. So the first critical injury roll was a 34, which is shredded ear and stunned. So basically some shrapnel hit his head. He's going to have some problems and so forth. Again, I don't have the book open to that page, but
That's fine.
when you hear the second one, you're going to know why the second one won.
Okay.
The second roll was a 54.
Sounds worse.
Now, remember, 52 is broken neck.
Yeah.
54 is internal bleeding, unconscious. So
Wow.
basically,
So it's just winner all day.
Yeah. So NPCs 1, 2, and 3 are gone.
They're done. They're done fighting. If they're not
Yes.
dead, they're happily on their way to the boatman.
They're not dead because of hit points, but yes, if they don't receive medical attention within time, and most of these are like 1d6 rounds, they are going to die.
Yep.
So at this point, both soldiers 1 and 2 move forward, spending their last action points. And Datijin. So why is Datijin next? Because even though she tied with the rest... Actually, why does it say 2? Oh, that's right, because NPC, that's right. They tied because the NPCs had +1 for the Vulcan pistol. I always let players go first. So all she's doing is disconnecting her security tablet from the keypad, stowing it away, and drawing her Vulcan cricket. That will be her 3 action points.
Okay.
And yes, you do have to actually do that.
I understand.
NPCs 1 through 3, well, they get to remain unconscious and bleed.
Good for them.
NPC 4 took some hit point damage, but nothing critical or life-threatening. And unlike the other Year Zero Engine games, damage doesn't reduce attributes and thus doesn't reduce rolls. So as Soldier 2 moves forward, and I guess we could do this. That's where they'll be. Let's go back to here. As Soldier 2 moves forward, NPC shoots him with this Vulcan pistol. Has a range combat of 5 dice, adds +1 because of the Vulcan pistol for a total of 6 dice, and 0 successes. You're going to start to see that a lot. The shot misses, and the Game Master decides not to spend a darkness point at this time because he only has 1.
So?
NPC 5 is going to use his Vulcan pistol on Soldier 1, also using 6 dice. And you see the result of that on the screen.
It's great.
Yeah.
Man,
The captain,
these good guy stormtroopers are doing pretty well so far.
right? There you go. The captain, through the command unit, he sees the first 3 NPCs are down and the last 2 seem to be too shaken to fire accurately. Everyone focus on NPC 4. Your armor should protect you from NPC 5, Soldier 1, but go prone just in case. Don't make it easy on him. And I did that intentionally so that one shoulder was prone. I am trying to show some of the different aspects of combat. So while it might not be realistic to dive to the floor, I want to show the difference between going prone and not going prone. So he rolls his command and gets 2 successes. So next round, if they follow his orders, they'll get 2 dice added to their rolls. All right, so that is the end of round 1. That one went hopefully
Round
slow.
1 was devastating for the bad guys.
Yes. Now remember, the bad guys don't have armor. I know somebody's like, well, they had helmets in Star Wars. Well, this isn't Star Wars. I just wanted you to kind of picture that scenario for the sake of what we're doing here. Now, I'm going to speed up a little bit for these, I hope, maybe. So let's start round 2. Because Soldier 1 lowered his initiative last round, he is now permanently at a 3 until such time as he can raise it. Okay? So remember, he held his action last round, so he's down to a 3. But it doesn't matter. I mean, look at it. NPC's going a 1. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Well, they go on a 2.
2. You're right, because shooting.
But still, it's last, except for the captain who boned his thing. I don't know.
Well, the captain's just blurting out orders anyway. It's almost beneficial for him to be last right now. Because there's no rule that says the captain's orders must be given in that round. Okay? All right, so the Datijin is using the Vulcan cricket, which gives a +2 to initiative, so all of a sudden she's in first place. She gets to go
she's
first.
Way in the back, so hitting anyone's going to be tough.
Well, if you look at her, she's only, 5, 6, 7 meters away from him? Each square's a meter.
Oh.
Approximately a meter. So, I don't want to say it's exactly a meter because somebody's going to take a ruler on there somewhere. Again, the squares are just for representation purposes. They don't actually really mean anything, but it is, it's about a meter. It's only a 10-meter long corridor there. It's a small ship. I mean, ships are tight places. So it also prevented people from going like 7 by 7 wide and blah, blah. Anyway. NPCs 4 and 5 are still using their Vulcan pistols for a +1 initiative. That's why you see those bonuses on there. Everything make sense?
Sure.
Okay. This is what's going to happen this round. Now you're starting to see the successes?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, Soldier 1 still gets 1. Didn't have to pray this time. Good job.
Right?
Oh, but Soldier 2 had to pray. But, oh, look at that. Got 2 successes. Still, Soldier 2's killing it. Except now, apparently, you, the Game Master, now have 2 dark side points.
Yes, that's what will happen. Excuse me.
Okay.
So, Datijin decides to take an aimed shot at NPC 4. The operative's ranged combat skill is only 3 dice. Remember when we showed that from the beginning? She had so she only has 3 dice.
And it takes all of her actions to do it.
It takes all of her actions to do it. Exactly. Yes. And she has no. She only has her agility and no skill in ranged combat. She's a hacker. Come on, not a gunman. Her Vulcan cricket gives her a +1 gear bonus. So now we're talking 4 dice. And her aimed shot adds 2 more dice. Okay. So now we're up to 6.
Okay, theoretically, she should get at least 1 success.
Well, even better than that, she's following the orders of the captain, who gave her 2 more dice from his successes.
Wait, I thought the orders were the grenade thing.
No. He changed. Remember when I said last round that he said through the command unit, he sees the first 3 NPCs are down. Last 2 seem to be shaken to fire accurately. Everyone focus on NPC 4. Your armor should protect you from NPC 5, Soldier 1, but go prone just in case. Don't make it easy on him.
Got it. All right, so she's getting 8 dice.
8 dice.
Failed miserably.
Yes.
And she didn't pray. Oh, no, she can't pray because she prayed to a different god.
No. She can pray. She just wouldn't get the extra 2 that would come with it.
Get a 1.
Right.
But she decided not to.
She decided, so with 2 armored soldiers between her and unarmored NPC, she doesn't think it's worth the time to give the Game Master another darkness point for a reroll.
Okay.
So, I mean, you saw how quickly 1, 2, and 3 went down.
Right.
Pretty much, and 4 and 5 are technically hurt. The soldiers should be able to clean them up, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So that was the rationale user. Since she used up all of her action points with the aim shot, she cannot claim the wall as cover. Basically, she's exposed herself to potential gunfire to get the aiming bonus. If she had taken a normal shot for 2 AP, then she could spend 1 AP to take cover to get the cover bonus. Which in this case would be, I would claim it as 5 dice for her. But instead, she basically just stood out in the open with legs spread wide. Bam!
Rambo'd it.
And missed.
Yeah.
Soldier 1 uses 1 action point to hit the ground to become prone.
Sure.
He uses his last 2 action points to fire on NPC 4. Soldier 1's range combat is 7 dice. We'll add 2 dice for the following the captain's order, 1 dice for being prone, 1 die for the Vulcan carbine, 1 die for the advanced scope.
Jesus Christ, like 20 dice, only got 1 success? God damn.
I know, right? 2 dice for the assault talent because everybody's shooting at the same target.
Fuck.
That's 14 dice. Here's what my note says. Here's what my note says. Seriously, I rolled 14 dice and got 1 success. I'm not going to pray to the...
How many ones did you get? I'm really happy that ones don't take away successes like in other games.
Right. No, they don't. So I'm not going to pray to the judge since Soldier 2 gets to hit and we'll have the same amount of dice. So from this...
That didn't help out too much.
Yeah. Well, from this angle, NPC 4 has full cover from Soldier 1's shot.
Sure.
That's 5 dice to resist the 1 success. Wait. Yeah, that's right. He got 1 success.
Yeah. So that's only 2 damage.
Did I say 0 successes? I want to make sure, because I mean, I've got it written on here. I rolled 14 dice and got 1 success.
Yes.
I hope I said that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, one success, and that's ridiculous. Soldier 1 so far needs to go back to training.
Yes.
But what is the damage for his Vulcan carbine?
3.
Okay, so he does 3 damage because he only got 1 success.
Well,
and the cover gives the enemy soldier 5 dice of protection.
Yes, but he gets 0 successes. And my note after that one says, I will never use these dice if I play this game. By the way, I'm actually using the official Coriolis dice when I rolled this.
Yes, Mar Hawkman, the green side of the Stormtroopers, and of course, in Max Layout scenario, the Stormtroopers are the good guys.
Oh, of course. Duh. You know what's funny is toward the end, I start putting the armor successes on the slides. I don't know why I didn't do that here, so sorry about that. But rolled 5 dice, got 0 successes. So the Vulcan Carbine's base damage is 3, so NPC 4 takes 3 more points of damage. He only has 1 hit point remaining.
Hurt real bad.
Yes. Soldier 2 is not prone and braced, but otherwise has the same bonuses as Soldier 1. So because he's not prone and braced, he only gets 13 dice, not 14 dice to roll. And I put in squiggly, asterisk, @ sign, hashtag, and at, up caret.
0 successes.
0 successes. And my note after that says, I just checked. There are actually 6s on every die.
It wasn't trick dice.
Right. Soldier 2 doesn't care about the darkness points. He can't believe he missed that shot, so he's going to call upon the judge to help. Like before, since he prayed to the judge, in the ship's chapel before this assault, he gets +2 dice for a total of 15 dice to roll.
And you got 2 successes. Well, you know what? At least now he's within the law of average.
Right. So NPC 4 takes 3 more points of damage. He does not die.
Wait, hang on. I got a question. Where'd you put that extra success? In damage or in critical?
With the Vulcan card. Oh, so it has to go in damage, and here's why.
Oh, why?
He got a total of 2 successes, right?
Right.
If you look at can you see my mouse or no?
Yes.
Okay. If you look at the Vulcan Carbine, it says damage 3, critical 2. That means it takes
you need to give at least 2 extra successes to assign one of them as critical.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Check. Did not know that. All right.
Where were we here? Is it this one? Yeah, that one. So NPC 4, for some reason I said takes 3 more points of damage. Why is that? Did I roll armor? Did I miss the armor roll? The NPC. Oh, he does not die. He can go to 0 damage. At 0 damage, you're broken. Yeah. I don't know why he only took 3 points of damage. He should have taken 4. Because it should have been 3 points for the success and then one additional point for the extra success. So I screwed up. But for the sake of argument, well, we're going to say he has an extra. He was just a little bit stronger than the other guy. So instead of 6 hit points, he had 7.
There you go. Good enough.
So anyway, NPC. So it says NPC 4 takes 4 more points of damage. He does not die. You can't go below 0 damage. Oh, I'm an idiot. See, if I read my notes instead of, he only did take 3 points of damage because you can't go below 0 damage in Coriolis. At 0 damage, you're just broken, unable to act, but you can be saved. And with the Vulcan Carbine, it takes 2 extra successes to apply critical injury. So that last success, I don't know if it's supposed to fade away or if that should automatically turn into a critical injury. I'm going to tell you for this scenario, I don't care. The Carbine normally takes 2 to do a critical. The dude's out of the game.
Yeah,
you put him down to 0 hit points. It doesn't matter for the sake of rolling these dice. So, but guess what? The Game Master receives 1 more darkness point, as we talked about before, which is 2 total. So NPCs 1 through 4 are bleeding and dying, and NPC 5 decides to take 2 quick shots at Soldier 1, then uses final action to scurry down the south hallway. Soldier 1 is prone, but is not considered protected by the wall for 2 reasons. Number 1, the cover is intentionally angled to make it harder to use from the assaulting side.
Yeah, good plan.
Number 2, he didn't spend 1 action point to use the cover. Now.
Oh, you have to do that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This rule can seem silly and will cause the occasional debate. Remember, this is a rules light-ish game, and sometimes, not every time, I would let the cover work even if not declared simply because it makes sense. In this case, I didn't because the rules say don't, whatever. But I could see it either. If a game master said, well, I'd give him cover on that one. Fine, give him cover. I don't care. It's your game. But anyway, as you can see, I angled them intentionally to give the defenders the advantage. So I figured let's keep utilizing that. So the base ranged combat is 5 dice plus the Vulcan is +1 die. The quick shot penalty is 2 dice. So 5 + 1 - 2 is 4.
But you have 2 dark side points to use.
I do. I don't use them.
Oh, come on. That'd be great. 2 headshots. Blam, blam.
Well, no. It just, all it does is Does it give you an automatic success or a reroll? I think it's an automatic success.
That'd be cool.
Just one. It would be cool. I hope you like what I end up doing with the darkness points later.
All right.
Spoiler. At least the bad dice rolls aren't confined to just the player characters. And for the last action point, NPC file 5 bails around the corner to the south. Captain. Finally, the captain gets his turn. Hold at the end of the corridor. Check those corners for an ambush. Jin, maintain an overwatch position. And he rolls 1 success. So if they do it...
You know what? That's fine. With the way this game is going, one success is awesome.
Right? So there we go. NPC 4 is down, NPC 5 ran. And that's how our new map looks. Now, those edges here, like where you see the commander, these are just simulated areas. I just didn't want to make the map any bigger because I don't care.
I understand.
All right, let's go to round 3. In round 3, pretty much the same thing as last round.
Yeah.
So the operative, the Datagen, as a non-combat expert, she decides she'll be prudent and comply with the captain's orders. She spends 1 action point on taking cover. Now she'll receive the cover bonus. And 1 action point on declaring an overwatch position. If anything comes out of that large door or around the corners of the corridor, she'll be ready with her Vulcan cricket. Her little
now,
pew-pew. Yes.
Question about the Overwatch rules. That means she's holding her action for an event to take place, and once that event takes place, she immediately gets to shoot, right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure that
with one caveat.
Okay, well, what's the caveat?
You have to have the action points.
She has 1 left.
Yes,
but it'll have to be a quick shot.
There you go.
Okay, so she's -1 or 2.
2. Yep.
2, because it has to be a quick shot. So if she did not take cover, she could use Overwatch and do a regular shot.
Now I'm going to tell you that I have a note in here somewhere, and I'm not seeing it on my screen right now, so it must be lower, where I kind of say that I play a bit more fast and loose with those rules. Because you and I were both in the military, and you and I both know that you can take cover and do Overwatch at the same time.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation. I can understand somebody who's on a catwalk, who has to dive to the ground, set up the rifle, look down the scope. Okay, I can see that being 2 separate action points. But somebody who's just literally standing at the corner of a wall, peeking around it with their gun aimed.
Yeah, you are automatically not only undercover, but I would even say if your arm is touching the wall, you're also braced.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so again, rules like game, it doesn't try to account for every scenario. You as the game master can figure that out for your game.
Okay. Got it.
With the exception of the couple of the mistakes that I made, which I think I corrected, but I'm doing this the way I would do it, but I'm trying to stay as rules correct as possible.
Understood.
All right, so as we know, she's now looking down that hallway. Soldier 1 gets up off the ground, spends 1 action point, sprints to the corner, which is another action point, and peers as best he can down the south hallway. So Soldier 1 stays on that same side. So I'll just do this. Spoilers again. Oh, apparently I didn't put the right image there. That's freaking lovely. Because it should show that. Oh, look, I just did more spoilers. So anyway, he's at the end of the hallway. Soldier 2 does pretty much the same thing, but he doesn't have to get up off the ground.
Right.
And so he goes to the end of the hallway, and Soldier 2 is looking to the north. And he calls back, we're in position, Captain. Captain responds back, that crewman would have surrendered if he was alone. Go prone, keep cover, and carefully look down those corridors. Don't get shot.
Wow, you can order someone not to get shot and they get bonuses not to get shot? That's awesome.
That was my one role-playing statement.
Oh, okay.
The NPCs, as the round is about to end, the telltale hum of cargo doors catches your attention. Faulty lights flicker in the background and a silhouette. Who the hell can afford an armored exosuit? Uh-oh. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so the pants shitting has now begun because both Soldier 1 and 2 have absolutely 0 cover against this semi-mech that just appeared.
Correct. But they have something that I know somebody's going to put in comments and debate about.
What?
So, I want you to think of this thing as part loader from Aliens, that Ripley piloted.
Yep.
Part elemental from Battletech, if you know what that is, and part Legionnaire armor from Warhammer.
Robotech Cyclone?
Without the motorcycle wheels.
Well, yeah. That's not a Transformer, right?
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's oversized body armor.
Okay.
It holds a weapon that is easily identifiable as a flamethrower.
Also not great, being that you're about 2-3 meters away. Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, the
Yep.
operative had Overwatch.
Oh yeah, the operative gets a quick shot.
Yep. So, the operative's Overwatch position was meant to cover this exact eventuality, and her player is ready to roll attack dice. Unfortunately, the game master steps in and has to stop this. We already talked about it, but I'm gonna do it like my notes say because I follow this up. Earlier in the round, she spent 1 action point on taking cover and 1 action point on taking Overwatch position. She only has 1 action point available.
Mm-hmm.
The rule specifically states, and I quote, "During this time, you can fire a normal shot, costing 2 action points whenever you want to." This means she does not have enough action points remaining to shoot.
Oh.
Now,
well, that sucks.
whether it's a house rule or interpretation of a rule that doesn't say you can't do something, personally, I will allow the operative to use the quick shot feature. As noted earlier, I consider cover as full or partial cover. You know, it's like I gave that guy a 3 dice instead of 5 dice. Because of the grenade and so forth. I see cover more like that. As someone who is in the military, I can assure you it is quite possible to take cover and provide Overwatch, unless you only consider taking cover as full 100% complete cover, which would negate the ability to fire at all. Moving behind sandbags or a window is a natural maneuver. At the same time, I don't want Overwatch to be a game-breaking feature or turn it into XCOM. You ever played XCOM? No. Every round, Overwatch, Overwatch, Overwatch. It's like, God, it's boring as hell when you do it that way. But that's how the game's played. I don't want it to turn into that.
Okay, so you allowed her to take that quick action. Okay.
I just needed to say what I said beforehand because the rules, if you go rules as written,
would
say
technically prohibit it. Right.
Yes. So I would have let her take the quick shot. So the operative has range combat skill of 3 dice, receives +1 for the Vulcan cricket, +1 for following the captain's Overwatch order, and -2 for the quick shot, for a total
of
evens out. 3 dice. As expected.
0 successes. Sure.
If you got 3 dice, I'm not praying to anybody.
No.
Because remember, she's not going to get the +2 because that's only going to be for technology.
Right.
No, she wouldn't even get that. She wouldn't get any bonus dice because the icon she prayed to beforehand was about technology.
Oh, that's right. It's not about combat. It's about technology and whatnot.
Yes. So Soldier 1 has no action points available. Can't even do the quick shot.
Nope.
So even though he declared Overwatch, well,
because he had to get up from being prone, so he has no actions left.
Exactly. Spot on.
Yes.
Soldier 2, like the operative, Soldier 2 has 1 action point available. The next question is, does he have an angle of fire within the 90-degree Overwatch arc to take the quick shot? Some weird purist out there is going to say, no, he's looking down the hallway. That would negate it. Bullshit. He wouldn't be looking straight down the hallway.
And 90-degree angle is the door.
Well, 90, yeah, exactly. 90-degree angle, and you can't see my hands on here, but 90 degrees, even if you look at the square that you got there, you see the mouse, right?
Yeah, it touches the opening door. Well, technically it goes before, but shut up, dude. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So, just in case somebody wants to argue, as the game master, I would say that Soldier 2, so actually this way, Soldier 2 is looking down this hallway, would have the shot. So anyway, I can see arguments for 4 and against, blah, 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 I don't care. He has a base range combat of 7 dice, +1 for the Vulcan carbine, +1 for the advanced scope. Now, if somebody says, no, the scope is out of range, nope. 2 meters are in between. It just says it has to be short or longer for that scope. 2 meters is close. Anything after 2 meters is considered short. Is that a technicality? Look, I don't do story games in the context of some people do, but I like the players, as long as they're not abusing stuff, to actually have a little advantage. So, yes, I'm going to let him use his scope. And +1 for the commander's orders. And -2 for the quick shot. So that's 8 dice. Yeah. It gets 1 success.
Hey, that... You know what? Soldier 2 so far has been clutch this entire battle.
Now, this is where I start putting the armor stuff on here. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. So, my bad on that one. So, the Vulcan carbine does 3 points of damage to the armored exo, but it isn't called an armored exo for no reason.
Got it.
It has 9 dice to resist. Jesus. Of course, now I roll well with 4 successes.
So it just bing, 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 just bounces off popcorn. Yep, there you go.
So off the Overwatch. So that's the end of this round, but the Overwatch has popped in. But hey, at least the Armored Exo knows that they can shoot, right?
Yeah.
Pyrrhic victory? I don't know. All right, let's go into round 4. We got a couple rounds left. Some of what I think I said this at the beginning, but some of what I was trying to do here was show different styles of attack and so forth. That's why, like, I had the one guy dive to the ground for no freaking reason. Right. Just so you can see how it affects stuff. All right, the operative is not skilled enough to fight somebody in an armored exosuit. There we go.
Yeah.
So she just maintains her ground. And she's like, I'll stand back here. I'll go pew pew with my little Vulcan cricket.
And maybe I'll get super lucky.
Yeah. How do you think that went for her?
Probably not great.
Okay, so.
Yep, there you are. Soldier 2, there it is again.
I know,
Soldier
right?
Soldier 2.
Yep.
Soldier 1 needs to go back to training or
Yes.
get on the proper meds or something because he's not very effective in this combat.
Right? So the operative is not skilled. I already said this. So base 3, +1 for the Vulcan cricket, +1 for following orders, maintaining your Overwatch, so 5 dice. As usual, 0 successes. Soldier 1. He decides, and I'm going to skip some. If you really need me to do the fluff notes here, you can, but I'm just going to kind of say what's happening now because I think we've got the idea of, what they're doing. So he's got a base 7, +1 for the Vulcan carbine, +1 for the advanced scope. So that's 9 dice and 0 successes. Why didn't I pray to the icons? Because I'm telling you, at this point, I'm like, I don't even care. I could pray 100 times and the icons would probably just step on me. Stop praying to me, bitch. So no. Soldier 2, realizing that the person in the suit can only shoot in one direction, decides to follow. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You don't see it on here. You'll see it down here. Soldier 1 and Soldier 2 separate.
Right. Because it's a flamethrower. It can only go one direction at a time.
Right. So realizing that, Soldier 2 follows Soldier 1's cue and heads south. Again, 9 dice. Oh, look, 2 successes.
Outstanding.
Soldier 2 elects to use the extra success for damage. So the exosuit NPC rolls 9 armor dice and only gets 1 success. So instead of 4 points of damage, because remember, the carbine's base is 3, the extra success makes it 4.
Sure.
The armor soaked up 1 point, which the character inside the armor now takes 3 points of damage.
All
right. The captain, recognizing the soldiers seem to know what they're doing, he relinquishes his command unit, draws his pistol, and decides to enter the fray.
Okay, no more command bonuses.
Correct.
Now it's just time to balls to the wall, shoot up.
He could still give command bonuses if he's aware of everything that's going on. So basically, if they're all packed together, he could still do it.
Okay.
Or if he just luckily gave an order and somebody followed it, you could have that as well. As long as you follow his order, he gets that roll, that command roll. So the exosuit NPC, seeing Soldier 2 as the larger threat, it follows him and attacks with the flamethrower. The exosuit NPC is more skilled than the average crew who are dying in the corridor and has a base of 8 dice for ranged combat and receives a +1 gear. I actually thought that 8 dice was going to be overkill. Like, I expected to kill a couple of people. But you see how these rolls are going, right?
Yep.
All right. So anyway, he has 8 dice for ranged combat and receives a +1 gear bonus for the flamethrower. 9 dice attack on Soldier 2. Soldier 2 wears heavy armor and gets 6 dice to resist. Yay, 0 successes. Soldier 2 takes 3 points of damage from the initial success. For the extra success, the GM elects to just add another point of damage for a total of 4 hit points of damage.
Okay.
Remember, hit points do kind of matter. You don't have a lot of them. The soldiers have 9. We didn't talk about that at the beginning. Let me scroll all the way back to the beginning. Because we didn't talk about that. Hit points, that's datagen. Soldiers have 9 hit points. It's your strength and agility added together.
Got it.
So guess what they like to raise when they get experience points? Yep. Okay. The GM rolls 3 dice to see if Soldier 2 catches on fire.
Oh, the special ability of the flamethrower.
Yep. And 0 successes.
Damn it.
No, that's good. That's your team.
No, I'm on the red team.
Oh, okay. That's right. You see him as stormtroopers. All right, so we're now skipping into round 5. Like I said, I'm starting to speed this up because I'm hoping you guys kind of understand what's going on. Operative.
Now, hang on. I got a question.
Yes.
Is initiative ever re-rolled?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
You know how I feel about that. We talked about it last week, but it's not. She may not be the best combatant, but the operative, the datagen, recognizes that she needs to help her team. So with a hopeful side, she runs forward to take a shot at the Exo. The GM rules that a shot is possible, but it's going to be at -2 dice. Okay, because he's down. So what she's going to do is she's going to run from this position here, and she's going to use her movement to move to here, so she can shoot down this way.
Okay. But is there a bonus for shooting someone in the back?
No.
Oh.
Now you can absolutely, as a game master, add one. You could just say it's a less difficult shot. The thing is I see combat as a scrum, so I don't see the guy as just kunk, kunk, kunk. He's actually pretty fast if he wants to be.
Okay.
So, he's moving around a little bit more than just, like a big tank.
Okay.
So anyway, the GM rules that the shot is possible, but it's going to be at -2 dice as she doesn't have a clear line of sight. It's right at the extent of her movement range, and I kind of considered that this little nick of the corner is going to just be in her way just enough to throw it off a little bit. So it's going to be at -2 dice. So she's got a base of 3, Vulcan Cricket of +1, unfortunately a penalty of 2. That only gives her 2 dice to roll.
And the odds are not in her favor.
Hey, look at that.
Oh my God.
All right.
Oh my. See, if I were Soldier 1 now, I would accidentally shoot myself in the face because the goddamn Decker just did more in that one action than you have in the entire combat put together.
Soldier 1 redeems himself a little bit. Unfortunately, the Exo's armor rolled 3 successes and sold the entirety of the Cricket's 2 points of damage.
But still, it was a hit.
Yeah, right? Soldier 1 knows that his bad day must end soon, so he decides to spend the effort and take 3 action points to use an aimed shot at the back of the Exo. 7 base, plus the Vulcan Carbine, plus the advanced scope, plus 2 aimed is 11 dice. Holy shit, he got 3 successes.
That's amazing. Which means he gets to use one of those as a critical.
He could. I did not do so. I did not do so at this point, no.
Oh,
okay. The reason is I didn't want to take out the I wanted there's something else I still needed to do to show for the sample here. Would I have done a critical? Probably. But also remember that a lot of those criticals are just like scrapes, like, you had your ear blown off, -2 to hearing things. When in that case, you'd probably be like, damn it, but the damage would be better. But 6 of one, half does the other. There are other things you could do. But to be fair, to be 100% honest, I considered it. The reason I didn't do it is because there's a couple things I wanted to still show with the combat example that I couldn't do if I killed them right now.
Okay.
So he decides to spend the 1 extra success on damage. 2 extra successes. 1 extra success on damage and an extra success to force the Exo to drop its weapon.
Wait, I didn't know that was an option.
Again, you haven't read the book. I'm doing this for people who have at least gone through the book.
Oh, okay.
So, fires 3 successes. The Exo rolls for its armor 2 successes. So the Exo, so that's 4 points of damage total. Remember, 3 base plus 1 extra success, right?
2
minus the 2. Are you with me?
No.
Okay, so the carbine does 3 damage, right?
Right, with 1 success.
Yeah, so with 2 successes, it does 4 damage.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's just plus 1 per.
Right.
Now,
so you have 2 extra successes.
We're not talking about the other one right now.
Okay.
We're just because the other one is the dropping of the flamethrower.
You have 1 extra success now.
Yeah, with 3 successes, it's a success and 2 extras. He chose to use his base. Well, he can't choose. His base damage was damage. One of the extra successes was 1 extra point of damage.
I was confused. You're right.
No problem. The Exo armor rolls 2 successes, so drops the 4 damage total down to 2. But also drops the flamethrower.
Oh.
Now, could I have used a darkness point to say no? Yes.
Yeah, I would have.
Didn't.
Oh.
You wait. You just wait. The reason I didn't kill that asshole yet, I'm accustomed to it. Just segment 1, I'm sorry. Soldier 2 is still reeling from the flames that scorched him, feels he has to unleash everything on this armored foe.
Sounds good to me.
He spends all 3 action points to fire in full auto mode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Swiss cheese this guy.
Right?
Yeah.
So, what is the roll? The roll is a base of 7, plus 1 for the carbine, plus 1 for the scope. That is 9. Minus 2 for being in full auto, so we're back down to 7. Now, This is how full auto works. You roll those dice. And in this case, he got 1 success. Now you roll an individual 6-sider until you roll a 1. If that first roll is a 1, you're done. Just means that all your ammo went wild and you didn't hit at all.
But for every 6, for everything that's not a 1, you keep rolling and you add up all the 6s.
Right. So this is what he rolled. A 6, 5, 3, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 1, done. That's 2 additional successes.
Yep.
So that's 3 total successes. 5 more damage to the Exo NPC. I know, you're probably sitting there going, my God, do a critical on him. I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to do that too, but I needed him to actually stay alive for now. So excuse me. The 9 armor dice repel 2 of the damage, so the Exo NPC suffers a total of 3 more points of damage. The Exo seems to be shaken, but still hasn't slowed down. The captain, no longer looking at the fight from the command unit, spends 1 action point to move to the end of the corridor to better assess the situation. Leaning around the corner, he snaps off a shot from his accelerator pistol. The captain has a 5 base damage for his ranged combat skill, plus 1 bonus die for the accelerator pistol, for a total of 6 dice. But why break a consistent trend?
No success. Got it.
Right. But the captain, he can't be outshined.
No.
So prior to the assault, remember, he prayed to the judge. And while he's probably was more interested in the command side of it, the judge also gives a bonus to ranged combat. The captain player decides to pray to the judge and reroll with plus 2 dice. So that is now, 8 dice.
8 dice, okay.
1 success, as well as a darkness point for the GM, who now has 3 darkness points. The accelerator pistol does 2 points of damage. Unfortunately, the Exo armor rolls 9 dice and I got 3 successes, so negating the weapon's damage.
Ding.
Yep. The exosuit NPC. No longer holding the flamethrower, the exosuit NPC spends 1 action point to activate, release, unsheath, however you want to call it, a short sword that was in its arm. Which, for this scenario, I am counting as a light weapon because there's no actual short sword in the Coriolis book. There's just sword. I'm calling it a light weapon because I wanted to do that just to continue on with this scenario. If somebody says, no, that shouldn't be light and he can't do all these things, well, I'm doing it for this scenario for the purposes of play testing, okay?
Okay.
So, that's 1 action point to draw that. 1 action point to move to close range, so now he's within that 2-meter mark. That's melee combat range also. And he's going to do a quick melee attack.
Sure. Which
suffers the same issues as...
-2, yeah.
Yep, exactly. So he rolls 5 dice and got 4 successes.
That is amazing.
Yep, that's 2 base damage plus 3 more for a total of 5 damage. Soldier 2 took 4 points of damage last round and potentially 5 this round. Soldier 2 has only 9 hit points, so if all of this damage applies, he will be broken. But he gets 6 dice to roll, and he got 3 successes. He only takes 2 points of damage, but he can't take much more of this. Now, I will tell you, this is the last round of combat.
Okay.
Oh, didn't type a result in there because, I was dumb. And if this was the old Legion with weekly live stream, I'd be cussing myself out right now.
You'd be cussing at me.
Well, my slides, I can't. All right, so round 6 starts like this. Now, you're probably like, what's an M sword? And why does he get plus 2? Well, we already talked about that actually at the beginning a little bit, right? This is the last round, guys. So the operative, she feels more comfortable next to somebody better able to defend her. So Data Jin positions herself next to Soldier 1. So she kind of runs up into that corner.
Right? Able to defend her. I would try and somehow get behind Soldier 2, but whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, but Soldier 2's under attack.
Yeah, you know what? Still the safest place to be on this planet, as far as I'm concerned.
So turns and fires a shot. So she's got a base 3 dice, plus 1 for the Vulcan Cricket. No other modifiers. 2, 2, 2, 4. Yes. Soldier 1. Soldier 1 is about to take an aim shot. Like last round, that's 11 dice.
Hang on. Move on to you're still on initiative.
Oh, the initiative page? Okay.
There you go.
Well, it doesn't matter. I don't want you to see ahead.
But we have to, because you're talking about it now.
I know. So Soldier 1.
Jammed. Of course. Yep.
See, well, No, you see,
He's
this is the thing.
worthless piece of crap.
Hear me out. As he pulls the trigger, here's click. The game master spent 3 darkness points to cause his weapon to jam.
Oh.
Now the
it
PC
takes 3?
Yeah.
Even if someone is obviously inept as Soldier 1.
If you want to say less than whatever, it takes to jam a weapon is 3. Now here's what jamming does. The PC has to use a slow action to roll a technology roll. That's wits plus technology.
Mm-hmm.
Much to our Datagin's chagrin, Soldier 1 decides to say, screw this, and move to a safer location or to unjam the weapon. He goes back into the corridor with the cover. So she ran out there and he's like, out. So yeah, you can't see it on the screen.
I told you she hitched herself the wrong horse on that one.
So by the strict reading of the rule, Soldier 1 cannot make the technology roll.
He needs at least 2 actions. Or all 3.
Oh, he needs all 3, but that's not but that's not it.
Why?
Technology is an advanced skill. And since he has 0 points at technology, no roll may be made.
So that doesn't make any sense. A soldier can't even unjam his own weapon.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Because you have the same exact train of thought that I had. However, come on. Soldiers are taught how to unjam weapons. Hell,
yes.
Heathen Dog and I were in the Air Force.
We're not soldiers. To learn how to field strip an M16.
Field strip it, slap, tap, wrap, all that other mess,
all that stuff. Yeah, we all had to learn how to do that. So
to disallow this role, exactly. Disallow this role is to be a dick.
Yes.
However, it is a slow action, and he only has 3 dice to roll because he doesn't have any actual skill with technology. Right. That's enough of a penalty. I will let the character roll, but if you're going to be a hardliner and says, nope, if you have a 0 in advanced, in any advanced skill, you can't do it. I don't know what to say. I mean, I get it. He's not going to be using the Datagin stuff. He doesn't know how to code. He doesn't know how to hack, but for the love of God, he knows how to, unjam his own weapon.
Yeah. Markman is right. No one in their right mind would use a weapon in combat if they can't do maintenance on it, unless you are literally picking up dead enemies' weapons. Or
it's just such an emergency that you're like, what does this do? Bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason you would go into a combat situation with a weapon you are not intimately familiar with.
So why did the soldier not just drop his weapon and move into melee attack? Because I wanted to show the tech roll.
Okay.
Now, Soldier 2. He reloads. That's two action points and does a quick shot. Because that's all he could. Oh, I didn't talk about that with full auto. Once you go full auto, you're out of ammo.
You go your entire clip, right?
Yes, you must be out of ammo once you're doing that. So, he had to reload. I didn't count reloads and all that other stuff. By the way, NPCs cannot reload without spending a darkness point.
Why?
That's just the way the game's written. If an NPC goes full auto, well then the game master has to spend a darkness point. Do you see why I saved him up now?
It seems weird, but okay.
Coriolis, the Year Zero games are a little more story oriented than your typical, beer and pretzel, we'll just call it.
All right.
So I think it has to do with that. But either way, I mean, somebody's probably going to yell at me about this too, and probably already has. You could have had like 17 darkness points to start the round. It depends on how much the characters have, blah, blah, blah. I literally rolled up the characters, put them in the scenario, and that's how I treated it, even for the darkness points. Okay, anyway. So he's got a base of 7, plus 1 for the carbine, -2 for the quick shot, -3 dice for close range. Once X gets into that melee range, crap, he only gets 3 dice to roll.
Okay, so I understand now why he is as effective as Soldier 1 with 9 dice, because he only has 3. I get it now. Okay.
There you go. Yes. So, of course, he gets 0 successes. Captain drops the accelerator pistol to the ground. He did not stow it. He dropped it. Declares the use of his Mercurium sword, draws it for 1 action point, closes in on the Exo for an extra action point. As the liquid is forming out of the hilt into the blade, he makes a quick attack for his last action point, and he rolls strength plus melee combat, which is your melee combat stuff. So that's 5 dice, +2 for the Mercurium sword, -2 for quick attack. So that's 5 dice. And he got 3 successes.
He really, really wanted this. This was good.
Yes. The captain chooses to do damage, +1 critical. Now I've pretty much shown everything I want to show. Somebody be like, well, you didn't show this, you didn't show this other nuances. I think I've showed you enough nuances. You're probably bored already. So we're gonna end the fight. Captain chooses to do the damage, +1 critical. The base damage for the Mercurium sword is 3, but requires 2 extra successes for the crit.
Guess what?
3 damage, +1 critical. I rolled a 41, which is lacerated kidney.
Ouch.
The NPC X is stunned for 2 turns. With characters standing around you like that pretty much ends. Dead. If you're stunned, well, if not dead, captured, dead, combat's over.
Yeah.
He did roll. The Exo rolled for 9 dice to resist the damage and got 1 success.
Now I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the attacker got the critical, right? Mm-hmm. The captain got the critical, lacerated kidney, but what if the armor resisted every single point of damage? That means the critical could not have happened because you couldn't have pierced his body.
Correct.
So the critical would have been a wasted thing. You have to do at least 1 point of damage.
That's the way. I don't want to try to quote rules as written, but that's how I treat it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I mean, you can't cut off someone's ear or lacerate someone's kidneys if you did 0 damage.
Here's another thing I do that's not in the book. And that's why I didn't do it in this one. I allow armor rolls to prevent criticals. So what I mean by that is if you rolled 3 successes, if you choose, well, one of my successes this is 3 armor rolls, okay?
Right.
I want one of my armor rolls to prevent that critical. Okay. Now the other 2 are going to go to the damage. The book doesn't say you can't do that. It doesn't say you can do that. I allow that because I like the games to move a little quicker, so I don't start going back and forth about what are you going to do for damage? What are you rolling against? What are you doing that? Just roll your damage. What are you doing with it now? Okay, so you did this. You added critical on. Okay, you're rolling your armor. You're doing that. You got 2 successes. What are you using against? Damage. Because there might be some. You might be really low on hit points. Your choice might be broken or lose an ear. You know what? I'll lose an ear. You can have the critical. I'm stopping the damage. But. Yeah, so anyway, I can stop sharing the slide. Round 6 to end. Combat is over. There's no duress, so the weapon is automatically unjammed. Everyone is now reloaded. Nobody's broken, but you can start doing your medical rolls, like especially for Soldier 2, who did take some
6 rounds. Those 2 guys who the guy with the aorta and the other guy, they're dead.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about that.
They're friggin' dead now.
In my games, they're mooks. They'd be dead anyway.
Okay, well, this is technically round 6, so they are now outside of help. They are dead.
I'd have to look up each critical individually to guarantee that, because some are 2d6, some are 1d6. So, but yes, for the sake of argument, yes. I mean, come on. Well, the guy with the broken neck is not dead. He's just paralyzed from the neck down.
Okay, well, he hopes he will die soon. But,
right.
The guy with the ruptured aorta, he died like 20 seconds ago.
Sure.
He's done.
Okay, let's stop sharing and go back to StreamYards. Okay, I can see StreamYards again now.
All right.
So I hope I covered enough there. I didn't cover every little nuance that could happen, but I hope I covered it there. Heathen Dog picked it up after never reading the book. By round 3, he was on it. He was like, okay, so this happened because of that, ... So I'm guessing that you guys who actually read the book, can you throw up the subscribe thing, please? Will actually understand what was happening even better. And maybe even try to correct me on some of the rules. But this is how I would do it. This is how I would run the game. And let me tell you something about Coriolis. Like I said at the beginning, I went into this thinking it was like riding a bike. Coriolis kicked my butt. Hey, cat. Coriolis, and it's not in the rules. The rules are generally the same. The main rule difference between Coriolis and the other Year Zero engine games are advanced skills. The other ones don't have that. And the hit points versus going off your attributes. But that's easy. I mean, you can figure that out quickly. It's the fact that every weapon had a different type of bonus.
Right.
That was the part. This one gets a +1 to attack, but a +2 to initiative. And if I'm a player character, that's easy. That's my character. I just remind the game master, hey, remember I get a +2 to initiative. But when you're trying to go through and do 4 characters on this side, 5 characters on that side, and go through that was becoming a pain in the ass for me.
Yeah, so, I mean, the calling this rules light for combat, I think, is wrong.
To be fair, I don't think Coriolis or Free League calls the game Rules Light itself. It just falls into the Rules Light category because it isn't crunchy like Pathfinder.
Right. I would call this rules medium because for the character, you know, I always, you know, I'm using this gun, I get a +2 initiative. I'm using this gun, I need at least 2 successes to call a critical. Great. But because each weapon has a different special attack or different special rating, the game master has to keep so much of this stuff like juggling in the air that it's not light for him.
Right.
It's pretty heavy.
I want to look at some of this chat here. So I'm going to read backward off this chat. So let's see. Right. Darkness points carry over from sessions. Yes, I get that.
I put that up on the screen, by the way.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's trying to correct me, but I just want to follow up by saying that I do get that. I was trying to make this as simple as possible while showing multiple things. But yes, they do. That was a really cool comment. Thank you, Indigo. Good example, Max and Heaton. Thank you very much. Hashtag balance.
I got credit for nothing. That's great.
Let's see. Soldier 1. I thought you meant that if you took Stormtrooper package to have rifle. What? I'm sorry. I'm reading this backwards. So, okay. So he was just. I got it. He's just talking.
Yes. Yeah, so Soldier 1 had the Stormtrooper training, which means he misses everything and he gets pwned pretty well. His weapon jammed, for Christ's sake. He's an idiot.
Well, now that was darkness points.
Hey, you know what? Do you think the captain is going to blame the whole supreme darkness that permeates the universe, or the asshole whose weapon got jammed?
He's going to replace him.
Yeah. Right. Oh, you didn't clean your weapon; it got jammed. Get out of here.
See, one house rule I can see is letting someone in Overwatch pray to the icons to get a shot. Well, okay, I got to be careful. So praying to the icon. Praying to the icons is just supposed to allow a reroll. If you miss, you pray to the icons to get a reroll.
Right. It doesn't give you a roll where you didn't have one in the first place.
But I think and he can correct me if I'm wrong. What I think he's saying is, well, you know what? If you don't have the points, I would let you do that because the game master's still going to get a darkness point. What does it matter to me if you roll? Where I would start to have the problem or start to get a little ooh is if you missed that roll and then wanted to pray again.
Sorry.
So I might have to say I'll house rule that in. Because I don't necessarily think it's bad or wrong, but you're not going to get a reroll. You can only pray once around, something like that.
Yeah, I understand. But I would have done differently as the game master, knowing that you need 2 actions to use Overwatch. I would say, hey, if you want to use when the rigger. I'm sorry, when the Decker was saying, I'm going to take partial cover and go Overwatch, and I would say, hang on, that's 2 actions. We only have 1 left. You cannot effectively use your Overwatch unless you have 2 actions left. So you either don't take Overwatch or you do not take partial cover.
Fair. Now, he said Coriolis doesn't use different categories D6s like in Mutant Year Zero, which uses 3 different kinds of absolutely right. And then Alien uses 2 different. What I forget what Vaesen uses. I haven't actually run through Vaesen a lot. What are my other ones up there? Forbidden Lands has 3 different dice also. Includes D12, D8, D10. So yes, it's. But that's because those weapons can break. And what I'm thinking is that in Coriolis, they look at it as a sci-fi game and like stuff isn't going to break. Mutant Year Zero is post-apocalyptic. So you're finding that stuff. It's all rusted out. You're finding it in the swampland. You don't know if it works. You're shaking out and just trying to fire. Forbidden Lands is obviously it's a Dungeons and Dragons style game. So you know what your sword can break. But you're absolutely right about that. Or maybe double the darkness point cost to pray to the gods for success of prayers. Wow.
Hey, you know what? That is a great house rule.
If you see what some of the stuff that the game master can do for these points,
do with these darkness points, it's crazy. I mean, you basically turn. Well, Soldier 1 was not doing himself any favors in this scenario at all throughout the entire fight. But then, as the piece de resistance, his weapon jammed because he's an inept idiot.
So buffering.
No, we're not going to blame the devil. Okay.
Well, they do. They have
weapon properly.
That's absolutely built into the game, and they would blame the devil. They might even blame the devil, even if none of that was happening. They'd blame the darkness between the stars. It is an absolute prevalent part of the game.
Wow. Okay. So take no responsibility for not cleaning your weapon, Soldier 1. Good job.
Now, if you prove that, no, I get it. I don't have a problem with that house rule. Look, I'm not here to judge anybody's house rules at all. I already said that I have a few that I use. So no, 1, 2, 4. I would be leery of that myself because I don't like to throw the darkness against players. I like it to be something like it happened there. That soldier was getting a clean shot at his back. And yes, well, you can say soldier 1 hasn't been hitting broadside of barn the entire day. All he has to do is have one good roll with 11 dice. And I don't care who you are.
He's had like 2 rolls with 14 dice. He still hasn't gotten one.
I know,
roll.
right?
So yeah, I think you wasted that. You really should have screwed over the captain, because the captain was the MVP at the end of that game. So sure. I would have had his sword, his T1000 sword jam.
The captain actually had a legit roll. That wasn't the roll I fudged. No, but no, I get it. Anything else on you? Because I'm going to go to the Twitch side after this. What my escapism to be pre-trains, not to attract anything in setting with advanced technology. Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of in this mood. I want to play a sci-fi game. I just don't know what rule systems I want to use. I mean, right now, Stars Without Numbers got me intrigued. But, okay, unless you think I missed something on that side, I'm going to go look at the Twitch side real quickly. It's a dice pool game, not a D20 or high-low game. Coriolis' best first game-wise. I don't know if Coriolis is the best Year Zero engine game to learn. I can see the argument why Forbidden Lands, because it has the cards. But see, to be fair, I don't do the cards.
I don't like cards either. Yeah.
I just take them out. Now, somebody's going to cry that screws the warrior over because you just took away one of the warrior's potential talents. Well, now you have 2. It makes the choices easier for you. I like to roll the dice, so I don't do the advanced combat. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I don't, because I don't like that nuance. Like, I'm going to do this stance, I'm going to do this other thing, so on and so forth. So with that in mind, I think, Forbidden Lands is a good first game. Alien is easy. The only thing you have to understand in Alien is if you're scared, you start to shoot up your own team.
The panic type thing that, you get more dice, but you also have more chances to lose your crap.
It should start off funny. Yeah, and I actually rolled the official Coriolis dice for the game. Let's see. In XCOM, you can die because of an overwatching squad. Fair enough. I know that it's very beneficial at times. So, and it got boring when I was watching certain people stream because they move and then Overwatch. But I think any of the Year Zero engine games can be a good first game. Just pick one though and stick with it. Don't try to be like, let's play Coriolis this week, Forbidden Lands next week, and Gen Lab Alpha the week after, because you're not going to like.
Yeah, you're going to have to learn something new every single week. So don't do that.
And Crafty, no, I'm not going to do spaceship combat next week, because next week we have something else going on. And as far as the week after, maybe, but original Alternity was great, very underrated. I have Alternity. I seem to remember, and I could be wrong in this one, but I want to say that my problem with Alternity was the same thing that I didn't like about Legend of the Five Rings, where I thought that attributes and skills were flip-flopped in importance. But I would have to go back and look. All right. Anything else that you think I missed?
Nope, we're good.
Okay. All right. That I don't need this on the screen anymore. I don't need that on the screen anymore. Do you want to see the crits real quick or no?
The crits? What?
The critical injuries?
Oh, no.
Okay. Then I'm closing out the Coriolis book. You don't get to see.
And that is your example of Coriolis combat. I hope you appreciate it. If you have any problems with how it was presented,
send all hatred towards Heathen Dog.
Shut up. Or if you have any problems with the facts as they were given to you, go ahead and put those in the comments and be specific toward Max Liao, because I didn't do this. So don't do it toward me. And please, whatever problem you have, cite that problem. And if you can, you know, it would be great. Give a timestamp. That would be awesome.
Oh, I love it when people say, you were wrong there. It's a like, 1 hour video.
Like where? The whole video? Like I didn't say anything correct? Even my name? No, come on. Help us out, okay? Help us out. There you go.